Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unconventional Job Search Strategies to Land Your Dream Job. I am here with Val. Hi, Val. How are you?
Hey, Deborah. Hey, everybody. I'm doing great.
Oh,
How about
so
you?
yeah, I'm so excited to be here. So I am going to introduce myself. I am Deborah Brown-Volkman. I am a certified career and executive coach. I am a career goals advisor to Fortune 500 executives, and I am a career reinvention expert. Job. I am.
Whoops.
Oh, I think I heard us. I heard
Yep.
us. All
There
right.
we
So
were.
whatever it is, okay, good. We got a little bleep. So my superpower is LinkedIn and helping you shine and stand out in this very brutal and competitive job market. And it really is. And even though today's live is about being a little bold and putting yourself out there, having an updated resume and a LinkedIn profile, opportunities come to you. So it's nice to have a few things come to you. So that is me. Val, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Val. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Deborah, for having me. I do a couple of things. So I work as a recruiter and an HR consultant. I also do career coaching and interview coaching and resume writing. And yeah, I love to help people along their journeys to land their next role. And as you and I both know, it's like a super competitive market. And some of the things that maybe used to work in previous times don't work so well these days. And what I've also been observing with a lot of folks that I've talked to recently, particularly those who have not been on the market for a long time, is they just don't know what the latest rules of the game are. So I'm really hoping that today we can shed a little bit of light and help people move further along in their journeys.
Yes, and that's the goal. So Val and I have over 40 years of experience in recruiting and talent management and career coaching, and we found each other. We found each other through our videos. Val does incredible videos, and she said I do incredible videos. So I will go with what she said. And we just really liked each other, and we said, let's give back, because what we're seeing is that most people are spending their times on the job boards, primarily the job boards. And there's so many people applying, and it's very difficult to stand out in a sea of applicants, especially if you don't have an in, you don't know somebody on the inside. And that what we've started to see is that the job boards have a place and that they are important. You do want to use them in your job search, but if you're using the job boards only for your search, you will be searching for way longer than you have to. So the job boards are important, but you have to stand out. You have to be bold. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to shake things up. And that is the goal of today's live. So what Val and I are going to do is we're going to have like little 3 mini topics, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So if you have questions, please put it in the Q&A, and then we will make sure that there is time towards the end to answer all your questions. So our first mini topic, and I'm going to kick it off, is what are employers looking for? How do you get their attention? And what gets an employer's attention is you. Is your personality. Your superpower is you. There is nobody like you. Yes, there are other people who can do the same job as you, but no one is like you. And you want to bring you to the job search. And that is, you start with your foundational materials. That is your resume, and that is your LinkedIn profile. And on your resume, you can add something into your professional summary. You can add a little bit about yourself. It doesn't have to be all professional. It could be a little bit personal about what you're passionate about, or what, who you are as a person. And are you with strong ethics? You're a strong communicator, leadership abilities. You can put that into your about section, as well as you want to make sure there's a lot of impact in your resume. How did you leave jobs better than you found them? Also, LinkedIn, such a proponent of LinkedIn. You want to make sure that you have some personality on your LinkedIn profile. You can flush out your about section. You could put your hobbies and your awards and links to stuff, and video. Video is so hot on LinkedIn right now. Imagine creating a video resume where you can speak directly to recruiters and hiring managers. You can feature that on your profile, and it is one of the first things that they see. So Val, what do you think?
I love that. I agree with all of that. And, as you and I have discussed before, and as I have discussed a lot, in the various places where I share information, number one is you really have to be very targeted, right? And so you have to really be able to show that you have the skills for the role. And it seems very foundational, right? And it seems like it should be obvious. But again, for people who just have not searched in a long time, it's not always obvious. So be very targeted. Absolutely make use of your LinkedIn profile. And also make sure that your LinkedIn profile is consistent with your resume. Now, it doesn't always have to be like, exactly, right? But it has to be pretty close. You don't want to have someone look at your LinkedIn profile and have your resume be totally different, or vice versa. And I agree with you that the best way to show your thought leadership and your authenticity is to share content. And I know for a lot of people, it's really out of their comfort zone. Believe it or not, it's out of my comfort zone. Like I wanted nothing less than to do anything with social media, but I like making a living, and it really helps because you need visibility. It's a very crowded, it's a very noisy world, and so you need to kind of be able to do things that can stand out. And that's one thing that you can do. If you don't do it, someone else will do it. So yeah, that's a little bit about what comes to mind. And, just, I really, really agree with you on the be real, be yourself. It's really easy to use AI tools. And I know we're going to talk about this later to, like perfectly tailor your response to a role to be like an exact match. But guess what? People can usually spot it if you just if you just absolutely used AI and didn't actually inject like your own experience into it. So I'm going to stop there because I could go
No, it's
on.
good. Well, but it's a little teaser for topic
Yeah.
number 3, which is AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree with what you're saying. Your resume and your LinkedIn profile should at least match. Like sometimes people will update their LinkedIn profile, they won't update their resume, or they'll update their resume, they won't update their LinkedIn profile. I think also LinkedIn is a little bit more intimidating for people. Like when it comes to a resume, I think people have been updating resumes for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to LinkedIn, well, what should I do? How do I put myself out there? But what I love about it is there's so many more ways that you can shine. There's so many more ways that you can show your personality, and you can show your thought leaders. You can show your thought leadership, right? That's what companies want.
Yeah, they do. And especially if people may have been noticing that there's like more companies that are doing, like making you do like a one-way video screening, where you are getting on and just like answering some questions. And let me tell you, if you've already been sharing content on video, you're going to be a lot more comfortable in that environment. And I'm not a fan of those one-way screenings. I actually hate them, but you gotta do what needs to be done. So, kind of make peace with it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those either.
Mhm.
I think that it's kind of demeaning that
I know.
right? I mean, you can't spend a few minutes interviewing someone.
Mhm.
Companies spend more time on client acquisition. How much money goes into acquiring new clients? But
Mhm.
that does I don't see it. Maybe you see it in recruiting. I don't see it going into the recruiting process or the onboarding process. Sometimes you join a job and that's it. You have to fend for yourself. But
Mhm.
imagine if companies treated in potential employees like they did potential clients. I think the hiring process would just be so much different.
Yeah, and there are companies that are, and there are recruiters that are trying really hard, and yeah, it's complicated and it's complex, but certainly that is always it's always my goal to have a positive candidate experience throughout, and I do everything that I can to make that happen. Um, but yeah, I'm not a proponent of those one-way interviews, but I do see companies doing it. So you know, I guess that's a personal choice about whether or not someone would want to participate in that. But I
Yes.
think there's better ways to pre-screen than that.
Oh, like what? Like what's a better way?
Oh, just you can have some specific questions that you ask in the application process, that just like have them, have targeted questions that you're asking the candidate to answer when they submit their resume. You know, that's a very simple way to ask them about certain experience that they may or may not have. And it's a way to pre-qualify them that I feel is a little more humane.
Yes. All right. We had a couple of comments. So Robert Deck. Hi, Robert. So glad you're here. He's such a wonderful man. He said, remember to make sure all the dates are correct on your profile and your resume. So the dates need to be correct. That is true. They need to match. Looks a little iffy if they don't match. And Madeline, who is a recruiter, said, I always coach my leadership to treat talent like they are our future colleagues.
Yeah.
How nice is that?
Yeah.
So Madeline, I'm sure that you are an awesome recruiter. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're selling when, you know, when you're a recruiter, your job, or a hiring manager, you know, part of your job is to sell your organization and your team to the candidate. And like, I know it's a crowded market. I know there's a million people looking for jobs, but you know, you still have to treat them like you have to you don't want to treat them like you're lucky to be getting a job here. You want to treat them like, you know,
Like people.
we want to sell you on how great we are because we think you're great.
That's right. Right. So your foundational pieces need to look good. Your resume needs to look good. Your LinkedIn profile needs to look good. I think you're spot on what you said about if you're putting yourself out there and you're sharing yourself. When it comes to these pre-screenings, you're going to be better. When it comes to interviews, you're going to be better. You're used to putting yourself out there. You're used to sharing yourself. It makes a big difference.
It sure does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to topic number 2, which is how do you get an interview when hundreds and thousands of people are also applying? And that is why I am such a proponent of LinkedIn. You know, it's one of the best ways to get access to recruiters and hiring managers. I saw a figure the other day that you know, recruiters spent billions of dollars on LinkedIn. That's a lot of money. A lot of revenue comes from recruiters. I saw another figure where 75% of recruiters are here on LinkedIn. So they're looking for people. They are. I always see posts, I'm hiring. I always see recruiters say, pass this along, pass this along. So getting a job is not only an easy apply on LinkedIn, but it's also recruiters who are looking. So you want to follow recruiters. You want to reach out to them. If you apply for a job, if you have premium and you apply for a job, you can see who posted the job. So you can reach out to them, but you don't want to just reach out to them just to reach out to them. You want to be intentional. You want to have something to say. I advise my clients to go on someone's LinkedIn profile and get to know them. So if you want to reach out to a recruiter or a hiring manager, get on their profile, take a look at it, see, is there something that stands out for me? Oh, we went to the same school, or oh, I really like what they said or what they posted, and put that in your message. I really liked what you said, really like your LinkedIn profile. I really like your company. And that makes the conversation just a little bit easier to have, and that you want to follow companies. You want to follow companies that you want to work for. And if people are posting, you want to comment on their posts. One of the nicest things that you can do for somebody on LinkedIn is comment on their post. And they love it. So you have a whole group of people that are applying for jobs only. And it's not like it's an easy thing to do. You're applying, there are people out there applying for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs, and then they wait and they wait and they wait and they wait. You need to be bold. You need to do outreach. You need to put yourself out there. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You have to go the extra mile. And Steve Harvey had a book and it said there's no traffic on the extra mile. So what we're saying here, right? What we're saying here is it's not new news. It's not rocket science. It's simple. It's effective. If you wait for a long time. If you put yourself out there and you seek things, that's how you get opportunities. That's how jobs are won.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with all of that. And you know, it's a fine line, the reaching out to recruiters. And, you know, I'm only one person, but I'm happy to share my opinion, which is it definitely gets my attention when I'm actively recruiting for a role and someone reaches out to me for that role. Now, they may have already applied, I hope they already applied through whatever the means are, right? You know, whether that's an ATS or whether they applied through LinkedIn. But then let's say I got 300 resumes for that job, which is not uncommon. If then someone comes to me and sends me like a nicely tailored message on LinkedIn that says, hey, you know, I just wanted to reach out to you. I applied for that job. Here's why I think I'm a really excellent fit and what value I think I can bring to the role. I've attached my resume to make it easy for you. I would love to have a conversation if you think this might be a great fit. That gets my attention, you know, because it's targeted. It gives me everything that I need. And it is going to, it doesn't mean that I'm going to ignore all the other applicants, but, you know, it's going to get me my eyes a little more closely on that person's application. So, and everyone doesn't do that. So that is just, like you said, you know, no traffic on the extra mile. It doesn't take you much time to do, and it can really make a big difference. So I think that is a great way to stand out for people.
Do you think it's okay? Because I get a sense, and I hear, because I'm on the career coaching side, so I deal with job seekers. They're afraid. They're afraid to DM somebody. So
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
do you think it's okay to do that?
I mean, again, I speak only for myself, but remember that as recruiters, our job is to fill the role with the best person. Why would we not want the best person to reach out to us? The worst thing that can happen, I always tell people, is someone might not respond to you. Did that hurt you? Well, just, I mean, it doesn't hurt you, right? I mean, just don't take it personally. If they didn't respond to you, it's probably because their inbox is just like a hot mess, like mine is. I don't think I do not think it can hurt you as long as you are, you know, you're respectful, you give them everything that they need, and you frame it as a way of presenting, I think I've got the value that you're looking for. You know, I think I'm the solution to your problem. People like that. I love it when people help solve my problems.
Yes. And I also think commenting on people's posts is
Mm-hmm.
really important. You know, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't do that. You can like a post. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to like a post, but it's not like commenting. If you want to build relationships with recruiters and hiring managers, and that's it, within companies, without companies, you have to follow them. Not everyone posts on LinkedIn, but a large percentage of them do. You have someone like Robert. Robert posts every day, posts several times a day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you go to Robert's post and you comment on Robert's post, and you're building a relationship. So it's not a cold outreach. By the time you get to the DMs,
Mm-hmm.
the person already knows you. You've been commenting on their post, so you've already built a relationship. And this person is taking time out of their busy day where they're not speaking to candidates, you know, and they're posting on LinkedIn. So it means a lot to them. Being on LinkedIn means a lot to them. And like I said before, one of the best things you can do is comment on someone's post. I like it. Don't you like it when people comment on your posts?
Yeah, yeah. And I also think commenting on other people's posts or interacting with other people's posts can be a great way to just like ease yourself into being active on LinkedIn if you're someone who feels a little intimidated and maybe not so comfortable. You know, like it's less intimidating to people to just make a comment than it is to share their first video, for instance, you
Yeah.
know, or share their first written piece on LinkedIn. So it's a great like bridge, you know, it's like a baby step that you can take. But it is, when I say baby step, I don't mean to diminish how powerful it can be.
Yes. You know, unconventional is doing the thing that you're afraid of doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really is, it's whatever it is for you.
Mhm.
So if making video is scary for you, well, that's the thing. If reaching out to someone is scary for you, well, then that's your thing. If networking is scary for you, that's your thing. The keys to the kingdom is doing the thing that's scary for you. So a job search is pretty straightforward. You apply for a job on the job boards, or you reach out to a recruiter, you know, or you reach out to companies, or you do networking. Like those are the components of a job search. They're, you know, maybe the mechanism is different. Maybe you're applying online, and you know, I'm old school. You know, we use the typewriter and send, you know, send in your resume, but the components are the same. It is the boldness and the willingness to put yourself out there and not just wait, not just wait. That is what gets you your job, because when you do that and you do the thing that's scary for you are a different person. You are transformed. You have a pep in your step. And when you do that, employers see it. Those are the people who win jobs. Those are the people that stand out in interviews. And it's doing the things that are scary for you.
Yeah. And especially for some roles more than others, right? Like, you know, if you're gonna be in any kind of like customer facing role, how great is it that the potential employer can, already see evidence of you interacting with people, right? Especially if you're going to be like in a sales role. But I understand there are people that are more comfortable working behind the scenes, and I want to honor and respect how people feel comfortable moving in the world. And if I just, like I said earlier, like if you don't put yourself out there a little bit, there's someone who will be. And I encourage you to just take that step and get over your fear, even if it's just like a baby step. And like I said, like I never dreamed that I would be like sharing content on LinkedIn or TikTok, like I never wanted to do that, but once I started doing it, it's actually really fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yes. Yep. All right. So Robert just said the one way interviews get terrible results for employers. The best candidates will not do them. Okay. All right, Robert, I
Yeah.
like that comment. Okay. All right. So we're going to go on to mini topic number 3, which is AI, right? It's one of the biggest questions we get. Hey, do we use AI? Do we not use AI? When it comes to AI, I don't believe in us versus them. I almost feel like there's a little bit of us versus them right now because people are afraid, especially in the workplace. It is replacing entry level jobs. There's a productivity piece that companies can use AI right now, so it's a little scary for people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in us versus them. I believe in harmony. I believe in harmony. AI has its place. It can help you, kick up your resume a little bit. It can help you craft a cover letter and give it a little bit more depth. It can help you research companies. Who do I work for? And what I really like about it is you can take your resume and put it into ChatGPT, and you can ask it a whole sort of questions, such as, who am I? Like, how do you see me? Where can I work? What's my transferable skills? What companies would want me? What titles would I apply to? What industries? What is my superpower? And it comes back with so much great information that you get an outside view and perspective of who you are. So I like that. I like that about AI a lot. I think where AI cannot help you in your job search, is the outreach piece, what we're talking about, reaching out to recruiters and hiring managers, sending messages, commenting on posts. It's too robotic. Some of the AI replies that I see is I can see that AI has read, has, scanned the post and then gave like a little bit of a summary, like an executive summary. And it's always like, yes, I agree. Sometimes I say, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. I know that's AI. So if you want to use AI in your search to help you be more productive and free you up for outreach, then I'm all for it. But I, again, believe in harmony. Harmony.
Love it. Yeah, and I agree with everything that you said there. Like, using AI to kind of like supercharge your process is great. I love it for analyzing key requirements in a role. I do that on a regular basis, and I find it so helpful. Don't love it for communication without personalization.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I would not trust it to do any sort of like bulk applying. I've heard that there are some tools out there that exist. I can't speak to them. Maybe they're good. Haven't tried any. Haven't heard of anyone that tried any of them. There are a couple of great platforms that I think are that I like that can help job seekers that use AI as a part of their platform. One of them that some people might be familiar with is Teal,
Okay.
Teal. They started, or maybe they still are, like they help to create resumes, but I think they have some other add-on services as well. and they utilize AI, and it's a great tool. They have a free version, and then there's also a pretty cool tool called jobright.ai, and that can help match you to open jobs based upon your skills. So I think that one's pretty cool too. And then another thing that I have found really helpful for myself is you can, I think you may have to have a paid version specifically of ChatGPT, but you can create a custom GPT that I actually have one called Val's Career Copilot. And I've basically trained it on, given it a bunch of my data. It's got my HR resume, it's got my recruiting resume, it's got my Upwork profile. I've showed it my winning proposals. I've given it just lots and lots of info, and it helps me very quickly, when I'm trying to, answer to a proposal when someone is looking to hire me. It just helps make things like more efficient for me. But again, if it ever writes anything for me, I always go through and check it and make sure that, my own voice is infused.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right and then done. It's not done. So, Robert, if you're still here, I know that you have an AI too. So why don't you put that in the comments? You put that in the comments. Nancy also asked for some of those in the comments. So Val is on her phone right now. So after the live, she'll go back to her desktop and she'll put them into the comments. Right?
I will.
And,
yes.
Right. I know that you'll do that.
Yep,
right.
I sure will.
And then Katina also said she gave ChatGPT all the nice things people said about me on LinkedIn, and then asked it to create a top 10 summary of how people perceive me. It was very helpful. And I've done that also. I've done that also to get a sense of how people see me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's one thing that I forgot to mention earlier, and I was just reminded, when we're obviously both really big proponents of using your LinkedIn page to its full capacity. And there's a lot of sections that some people don't utilize, such as like the featured section where you can feature some of your best work. Sometimes people don't have any recommendations, and again, that could be a thing. It's like, maybe it's a little out of your comfort zone to ask for a recommendation. Just get over it. People work with you, they love you, and you can offer to do a recommendation for them. So make sure you go through your LinkedIn profile and look at all the sections and make them as optimized as you can, because I do want to remind people that LinkedIn is a search engine, right? So you want to make sure that you are findable.
I like that.
That means having all the good keywords that are related to what you do.
Yes. Okay. All right. So a half an hour goes quickly. So we're going to wrap up. So in the comment, I'm going to put a link to what I do and how you can reach me. I'm a career reinvention expert. I'm also a LinkedIn professional presence strategist. So I'll put the LinkedIn. And then Val, you also have a link. What is your link?
I will add it in there as well. As I said, I wear a couple of different hats. So I'll put the link where you can find all of my information for either recruiting, interview coaching, career coaching, resume writing, and HR consulting.
And HR consulting, 40 years between the two of us. I love it.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everyone who's here today. And I will come back to the comments and say hello there and share some stuff there.
Yes, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Val. I want to thank everyone that came to see this. If you're watching it live or you are watching it through the replay, just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye.